Hey guys, welcome to the second session of my technique series. So I'm kind of continuing on the theme with reinkers because there's so much you can do with reinkers. So I decided that we're gonna just finish it all so you can see it and all the fun stuff that you can do. So the first thing that we're gonna do is use embossing paste with reinkers. So I just went and got these little cups with lids from Walmart, and we sell this really fun embossing paste. Now we sell two different kinds. We sell the shimmery white, which I had to get the shimmery white because it's got a little bit of a shimmer or glitter in it. And then there's just a plain white, but I wanted a little bit of that something something. And then of course we sell the palette knives and all that fun kind of stuff. So I'm gonna do that, but you could use a popsicle stick if you wanted to. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna open up your shimmer. I got a lot of it too. And it will be messy, so make sure you have your baby wipes with you, which I say that, and then where are my baby wipes? Right here. Okay. So I'm just going to take some of the shimmer. You don't need a whole lot. This should be plenty. And you want to close your shimmer paste up right away because it will dry out. You can add some water in there if it does dry out and stir it up just a little bit though. So then you have your little paste and you want to decide on your color. So I'm just going to randomly grab a color. Now this is the Orchard Oasis that is actually retiring this month. So if you like this color, you should get it. And you're just going to take one or two drops. Just start out small. You don't need a whole lot. And then you're just going to take your palette knife or your popsicle stick, whatever you have, and you're going to color it, whatever color you want it. And I think that's really nice. So I'm going to, I think maybe stop with that. I don't know, maybe I'll make it a little darker. All right, we're gonna make it just a little darker. How about that? So let's put one more drop in there. It's hanging on, I want it to come out. And then we're gonna go ahead, mix it up. All right, now you say to yourself, so this is one technique, okay? So you say to yourself, well, okay, that's great, but what do I do with it? Well, you can use these in masks, the different kinds of masks that are sold. Put it on your paper and do it, and that's what we're gonna do. But I don't have any masks. So that brings me to my second technique. I'm actually gonna pick that up because we don't wanna waste any of that beautiful paste. So that actually brings me to my second technique, which maybe it should have been my first to show you, but you can make your own masks. So we sell window sheets and they come in 12 by 12 pieces. For the demonstration of this, I have just done, I did a little 3 by 4, and then I took my, dots, and I think this is called Dots and Spots, and it's retiring, and I ran it through my embossing machine, my die cutting and embossing machine, and I came up with this little mask. So you can make your own masks. So we're gonna move this aside, and I'm gonna show you how this works. And let's see, we wanna keep some of this stuff, but we don't need everything. But I want you to be able to see what we're doing here. I'm gonna move that off. All right, so we'll just set that aside for now, wipe my fingers. So I'm just gonna take a small piece of white, and it's the thick white, and I cut it a little smaller than my mask because I want it to tape this down. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. I want it to tape it down the right way here. I wanted to tape it down to my glass mat to make it a little bit easier. Then it kind of holds it in place. So I'm just gonna take some Scotch tape and put it so it's not on the actual cardstock itself. So then we're gonna go back and take our palette knife Get it nice and mixed up. Like I said, this is probably a little too much, but it's okay. You can save it for later. Just put a little cap on it. And then I'm just putting it on my mask. And this is going to give it a little bit of a three-dimensional effect. I want to put a little bit more over here. Because I want it to be a little thicker. So you're just kind of putting it on like you're baking a cake. So that should be good. And then we're going to pull the mask off. If I can find my tape, we'll pull the mask off. And you want to pull it straight up. You don't want to slide it off because otherwise your whole point of what you just did won't be done anymore. And then you can see, I'm gonna be careful because I don't want to get it all over. So you can see I missed a hole there, but can you see how it's a dimension now? And that could be a fun little background. So that is using the embossing paste. And this is just a very simple example. You could take some flowers, cut them out, create the three-dimensional flowers. You could do lots of things with that. I'm gonna just set that aside right now. But what I'm gonna do here is, because you can see you got a lot left here. Now you could have scraped it all off right away if you wanted to, but I'm gonna take this and scrape it off, put it back in my cup. Oops. Maybe. And then you can save it for later. Like I said, this will dry out if it sits too long in air, but if you put just a little water, you don't want to do a whole lot of water, but you can put a little water, mix it up, and get it moist again, and that will work as well. So those are the first techniques. You know, I think we forget we have things in our arsenal to make the masks, and you can just go rinse that off and reuse that mask again if that's what you want to do. So that is technique 1 and 2. Do you see the glimmer in that? I love it. Okay, here is the third technique. Super, you're just gonna be like, what? You're gonna love it. So you need a little dish. So I'm gonna use one of these again. These are great. And you know these little gel packets that you get in almost everything that they absorb moisture? Well, don't throw them out because you can use them, and I'll show you how. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna open up your little packet, pour it in here, get yourself a little popsicle stick or some kind of a stir stick, and I'm gonna use this, and I'm actually gonna use Azure Afternoon is the reinker. And you just need to maybe use 2 or 3 drops at the most. So 1, 2, 3, we'll get that end one off, maybe one more, okay. And you guys, just so you know, the reinkers are going up in price in the new catalog. So if you're liking these techniques, definitely get yourself some reinkers. So take your little popsicle stick and you're gonna, whoops, and you will definitely have these popping out at you. So you're gonna go ahead, you're going to mix them all up, and you can see they are starting to absorb the color of your reinker because that's what they're made to do, is absorb moisture. So just keep, I probably put a little too many inks in there. Oh, maybe not. We'll just keep stirring it until it gets a little, yep, just keep stirring. Let it absorb all, so you can see all of it's going away because it's going into those beads. Isn't that cool? And now we can use this as a shaker card. So I'm just gonna make sure there's no moisture left on the bottom of the cup. Look it's going away. Like, I did this years ago and it's genius. So when I started thinking about all the techniques that I know that I haven't used and I know I haven't shown, and we just got beads going every day. When I go to vacuum the studio, I am sure I will find lots of beads. So look at all of the reinker is now absorbed into these beads. Are you going, what the what? Yep. All right. So I'm going to let that sit for just a second, and we're going to prep what we're going to do with them. So these little bottles are in the annual catalog, and I believe they are retiring. So you want to grab them if you want them. And then you're going to take, I'm just going to use thick white cardstock because it has a matching bottle punch. So you're going to go ahead and punch one of these bottles out. And we're going to take our bottle, flip it upside down. See, look at all of that is gone now, absorbed into the beads. We're going to pour it into there. And very carefully, there's a little adhesive piece here. So you're going to pull that off, and we're going to come and put this on top of it, if it'll let me. Oh, it might not let me. I'm trying to just hold it in place so we can cover the beads, and we're going to flip this over so it will be on our example. So we have that. Let me make sure I have the right card here. I do not. Let's see here. Let's grab the right card. I just had one. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to just, this is just helping to protect it. Like you could stamp something on that to fill in the back side of it, but I'm just going to lay it straight on top of here, flip it over, and it's just for the getting that to hold into place for your sample. So then it'll go into your book that you're creating. And there it is there. Fun, right? Super easy. Okay, for our fourth technique, this is such a simple technique. So I am actually using our watercolor paper, which is our fluid watercolor paper. Let me show you what that looks like. Of course, I just put it back in my, it's this Fluid 100, and it's actually cotton paper. So it's real thick, and it stands up to water well. So usually this is what I use when I'm really getting my paper wet. So the first thing you're gonna do, I call this the ink smush with block. I don't know if that's really the proper name for it, but that's what we're going for. So I'm going to take one of our little spritzers, and I'm going to spritz water all around the paper. And then I'm going to take a block, and you could take any size block. You know what? Actually, I'm going to take a smaller block here, and then I'm going to take my, this is Pretty Peacock. Isn't that a pretty color? And you're just going to stamp it around your paper. Now, I might have gotten too much water on that, and that's okay. We're gonna let some of it dry off. But then I'm gonna go in, and I'm just gonna empty some of this water into my trash. And you can see where it has now spread, which is fine, because we're just creating backgrounds, you guys. We're just, we're just making it a little something different. So I don't want to get the whole background, but maybe like that. Whoops. So you can see you're going to come up with something different every time you do this technique. Let me show you what my sample turned out to look like when I did the sample. So you can make it anything you want it to be. Again, it's going to be, so there's my sample on that. And probably using smaller blocks even would be even better. So that's just another simple way to make kind of an abstract background.